With the Habs in rebuild mode, rumors abound about players coming and going, possible free agent signings, and trade deadline movement in general. Some make sense and some don't. One such rumor is for former Habs star defenseman PK Subban, a pending UFA coming off that huge contract he signed with Montreal. He still has a big following here in Montreal, and a lot of fans want to see him return. So I'm going to give you my opinion in this video, so stay tuned. Hey, everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. So, with some sort of rebuild underway for the Habs, you can call it what you want, a reset, retool, rebuild. I mean, the Habs don't have a name for it right now. So a lot of the players on the roster right now will simply not be here over the next two seasons. New prospects and new players will be brought in to take their place as the Habs try to rebuild into a perennial contender. With all the young players that will make up the bulk of the new roster, the team will need some veterans as well. I mean, that just makes sense. So some will be from the guys that are here already, but some will be brought in. And right now, rumors abound on who they might be. One of those names being mentioned by more fans than I would have thought, actually, but by some fans, doesn't surprise me at all. And that's a former Hab fan favorite, Norris Trophy winner involved in a huge trade 6 years ago. And the argument about who won that trade, it still percolates today, believe it or not. And of course, as I said, I'm talking about PK Subban. So Subban is at the end of the 8-year, $9 million AAV deal that he signed with Montreal and is a UFA next season. He's 33 now. I think he will be 33 at some point next season, obviously. Obviously. So, and he's kind of on the downswing of his career, but a surprising amount of Habs fans want to see him brought back for the rebuild. Subban did love it here in Montreal, there's no doubt, and I would think that he'd kind of welcome a chance to come back in free agency. So would it make sense from Montreal's perspective to do that? At what cost? So I'm talking monetarily, like as in a UFA signing, or in assets, and that's in a trade at the deadline. What would he bring to the table for the Habs moving forward that would make it worth acquiring him? If Brendan Gallagher stays, would they be able to coexist? Because there might be something there between them. And can you ever go home again? So those are the questions for this video. So, I guess I better answer them. So would it make sense for Montreal bringing PK back? At the trade deadline, I got to say absolutely not. That doesn't make any sense to me. Giving up assets to acquire a 33-year-old defenseman who will be a UFA at the end of the season makes no sense to me, especially for a team that's in a rebuild. If Montreal is interested at all in bringing him back, they should only do that by signing him as a UFA. So having said that, would they sign him in the offseason? So you see, I don't see the value in that either. I don't see the value in that unless he's willing to sign for $1 million or $2 million, and you still need an experienced defenseman to mentor the kids. I honestly don't see the value in signing PK. Nothing in his play or his numbers over the last few seasons would make me want to spend any serious money on him or bank on him turning his game around, especially here in a rebuild. And listen, he was my favorite Canadian when he was here. It's nothing against him personally, right? It's a business after all. The only way I can see it happening is if Montreal thinks they can placate the fans and make the rebuild somehow less painful for them by bringing back a former crowd favorite. So again, ask at what cost to bring PK back to the Habs? So assets in a trade. So what are you willing to give up in a trade in a season where you're definitely sellers? And I wrote here not buyers, but it looks like they may still be buyers as well as sellers. I don't think buyers in a big way, but one or two, this possibility they've said. So I think the right answer is you're not really giving up much. If you're talking about a Chris Weidman, who's a free agent at the end of this season as well, or Sami Niku, who I also think is a free agent at the end of the season. Maybe a Laurent Dauphin. I might consider that, but not much more, like if any. So giving up bigger assets to acquire him kind of makes no sense to me to do that. So monetarily, signing as a free agent. So that would depend what he's asking for, right? Which I would suspect is 3 to 4 million a year AAV. And to me, that's just too much. And if you add term beyond 1 or 2 years, it's also too much. And I would think he'd probably want 3 to 4 years to go along with that 3 to 4 million. So for me, if they do sign him, and I really don't think they would at all, but if they did, I would offer only like a year or two and no more than 2 million on the AAV. But, you could have bonuses in there to up it at the end of the year. Might, if he hits them, great. If he doesn't, well, he doesn't get the bonuses. I mean, you can do it that way maybe. So what does he bring to the table for Montreal moving forward that would make it like a good signing? So let's see what he has. He's still a puck-moving defenseman. I don't know that he's still at the same caliber, obviously, but he's still a puck-moving defenseman. So, I mean, that's good. He likes to slew foot. Not great. He's experienced. He was always a fan favorite. He was my favorite when he was here. He used to be exciting to watch. I mean, he used to really be exciting to watch. There's no doubt about it. And you see the clips I'm using. You can see some of that excitement there. But will he move the needle now here in Montreal? I mean, the answer is probably not. So, why tread water if that? And maybe that's at the best if you sign him. You're treading water. You're not doing anything. And I don't know that that's what you want in a rebuild. Would Brendan Gallagher and PK be able to coexist? There was something there. We know there was something there between them. There seems to be no love lost between them. But you know what? Yeah, they're pros. So I would think that they'd work it out and water under the bridge type of thing. So I don't know what's up. And you can see I'm putting that clip of them having that little scuffle in practice. I don't know what's up between them, but I'm sure they'd work it out. Especially if Galley stays and makes captain, if that's the case. And even if he's not captain, he's going to be, an alternate. And, I think they would work it out. That's all. So can you ever go home again? It means him coming back. He was here. We drafted him, developed him. It's an old cliche, but it kind of applies here. And I think the answer is, and they say you can never go home again. I think it's, in general, you can't. Not always, right? So look, he'd just be taking up a spot. He'd take up a spot from a young guy, and Montreal has a lot of good defensive prospects in the pipeline, that we know. So having said that, having an experienced veteran back there to mentor all the young prospects is not a bad idea, at all. But for me, I'm not sure if PK is the guy for the job. And I'd kind of rather they hang on to Joel Edmondson for that role. I think Edmondson would be a good mentor for these guys. I already know that he's a leader in the room vocally and then out on the ice. And the guys really respect him. And I think he's got another 3 years to go here. I think it would really be a good idea to hang on to Edmondson. I don't know if it's 2 or 3 years, but all right. So it's time for viewer comments. And let's see. The first one we got here is Conservative Lawyer. I saw on a post on Facebook of a fan that wanted Subban back for $7 million for 7 years. They said it made him laugh a little bit. That's ridiculous, right? I mean, maybe Subban in his 20s, different story, right? But 7 years, $7 million. I wouldn't go 7 years. I don't know. I'd want to go $7 million for the whole contract at this point right now. So yeah, it's kind of laughable. But listen, he was a fan favorite here, right? And I'm sure a lot of people just remember that and just think he can bring that same stuff here on his return, and that I just don't think that would happen. Next comment is from Baybye. And Baby says, this is a longer one. PK should never have been traded. Therrien, when he worked for RDS, said he would not have PK on any team he coached. And guess what? He got here and PK was traded. Patch, that's Patch's, Pacioretty was responsible for PK going, as he did not like PK's attitude. And they had I saw a fight of theirs in practices too. Will he get the next one after a loss? We will get the next one after a loss. Okay, what's wrong with that attitude? Bergevin, after signing PK, said he was not going anywhere, but the day before his no trade clause was to cut him in, to cut in, he traded him, which was that's kind of dirty pool, but I mean, that's business too, all right? Therrien, Pacioretty, and Bergevin vacation together, so go figure. Canadians did not like it when PK promised $10 million to the Children's Hospital and did not give them any credit, even though they put in no money. As soon as Drouin was brought in, he started an alliance with other Children's Hospital in Montreal, which was done by Canadians to minimize PK Foundation. PK was not even told by Habs he was traded. His sister told him, and that's pretty low. If that's how it happened, that is. Why would Nashville trade their best D-man and captain unless they knew he was damaged goods with a horrible contract? PK still has years ahead, and Weber is finished. But, I mean, the age difference there is a few years, and, we knew that going in for that. Nashville only traded PK as they needed the cap space to get Duchesne. Carey and PK are still best friends. PK and Galley skirmish on the ice in practice happens on every team during the season, and this is kind of true. Not a big thing unless in Montreal. True. Therrien stopped the low five between PK and Carey because he was an asshole and did not like that they enjoyed it. I agree with that 100%. PK was the best puck-moving D-man in his time and was never replaced by the team. Another thing I agree with 100%. Bergevin ran every PMD out of town as he only wanted journeymen who played like he did. Petrie's like the only one he didn't. Kind of true. I could write more, but stop before my fingers got too tired. I kind of agree with a lot of what Baby was saying there. I wasn't happy that PK got traded, but they got Shea Weber, and that was about the one of the, like, Shea Weber and Drew Doughty were the only two that I would have accepted. So it is what it is, and you can see people still love PK. I think Baby does. And I mean, I do. I'm okay with PK, but I don't think it'd be worth making that move. I don't see the sense of it in a rebuild here. When you have guys that you just hang on to them and you don't have to look for that experienced defenseman to mentor the kids, so it doesn't make any sense. Giving up any assets for him? No. Overpaying him at all in any way, in money or term? No, doesn't make any sense. And I just don't see it happening. So that's my opinion. So I hope you liked the video. And if you did, give a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Ring that notifications bell. And then leave a comment before you go. I'd appreciate that. And just stay safe out there. Peace out, y'all. And hey, check out, I don't know what side it's on, but check out that video up there in the corner. Ciao, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.